Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
what's
eating
up,
that.
everybody? We are here with for podcast number 10, Car Talk podcast number 10. We're here with a couple other YouTubers. Corvettes918, you want to go into your channel and the car you have?
Yeah, my name is Chuck, and I have Corvettes918. I've got a 2016 Corvette Z06. And on my channel, we talk about Corvettes and pretty much try to film them out in the wild versus just taking pictures of them.
Oh, okay, I didn't know you were
By
done.
the
Martin, you want to go into what your somewhat of a channel is?
well, it's not really a channel. It's more like a YouTube page account, so I can watch everyone else. I do have 3 videos.
Okay, go into what cars you have. That's a better.
Okay, so I do have a Pontiac GTO 06, 6.0 modified. My girlfriend has a 2014 Corvette Stingray, and I have a Chrysler PT Cruiser that used to be my first car. I still have it, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, Dallas, you want to go into your channel and what cars you got?
Me?
Yes, you, Dallas.
Oh, you're breaking up. My channel is GearheadRevolution. Cars I have is I just C8 Nova. I have an '08 Viper, 2015 Hellcat Challenger, 2000 WS6 Trans Am, and then a 2002 Z06 as well. And do everything from vlogs to topics to hanging out and doing these live feeds with everyone and all that good stuff.
So do people think you have a used car lot at your house?
Pretty much. Hey, I'm pretty sure they think I sell cocaine or something like that. Not that I can get you that if you're looking for it.
You know we're live, right, Dallas?
Absolutely, dude.
Oh God. Tim, are you in here or not?
I am.
I can't see it. Okay, you're very dark.
What's up, dude?
I don't know why you're not showing up on the computer though. It says
He's in the woods.
Yeah, I'm in the woods right now, actually.
Well, I don't even want to know what you're doing out there. For one, number two. Hold on, I'm trying to post the thing on Instagram saying to fucking join this shit. Mother's got so much crap on her iPad, I can't find the damn picture.
See, people like you are why we're getting in trouble on YouTube. You gotta be on here cursing and stuff.
That's true.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Ah, fuck it.
Potty mouth.
Corky. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so everything's working. So let me find the first topic first.
Hey, are you gonna let this new guy introduce himself, or are you?
Oh yeah, Tim, you want to go into what your upcoming YouTube channel is supposed to be and whatever you do?
Wait, what?
Hold on. I said, do you want to go into what your upcoming YouTube channel is supposed to be at and whatever else you do?
All right, let's see. So, sure. So, for y'all that don't know me, I have a 2016 Jeep Cherokee Limited, which is my new car, so I'm kind of excited for that. I'm thinking of getting a Fiat 500 Abarth or a Mazda Speed 3 in the next year and a half or so that's going to be pretty interesting. And so I'm probably going to start vlogging, but I don't really know what to do. So
just guess. That's what the rest of us do.
That's true. And I live in like the Bethesda, Maryland area, which is 5 minutes outside DC.
Okay. So for our first topic,
B.
Okay, what are some cars you thought were ugly till you saw them in person?
Oh, that's tough.
Well, for me, the Stingray. When I first saw the pictures, I wasn't too convinced with the taillights until I saw it. pictures don't do it justice. Do you agree, Chuck?
I definitely do. I think you know, I'm in a Corvette club with about 300 gentlemen, and most of them are, let's just say, over the age of 55. And when the C7 came out, you know, every one of them said, "I'll never own one." Now probably 80% of them do.
Yeah, people's tastes change after a while. Like if a new car comes out or whatever, and they think it's ugly to begin with, they'll warm up to it eventually.
Yeah, wait for that mid-engine one to drop. They're all going to lose their minds for the first 6 months.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so let's bring up that topic. Or no, yeah, we'll bring up that topic afterwards. What everybody thinks about that. But what's another car that you guys? Personally, for me, I'd say 4th Gen Camaro. I thought it was ugly till I saw one and rode in one in person. So that would be my pick.
What is it? You're breaking up.
4th Gen Camaro.
The Fox body?
F-body.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, F-body.
Fox body's a Mustang.
Right.
Yep.
You guys in the car?
But yeah, I thought the 4th Gen Camaro wasn't all that great looking at first, and then when I saw it in person and then rode in one, I kind of changed my mind.
I don't know. I think all Camaros are very good looking.
That's true. I agree with that.
Somehow GM has managed to hit every emotion when it comes to a Camaro. Well, you know, you got the sound, you got the sexy slickness of it, right? The interior is, you know, left to be desired a little bit because, you know, there's a lot of plastic. But once you get kind of past that and you hit the accelerator, you get over that.
True.
Well, they definitely upped the game on the interior with the ZL1. That's got, you know, that's standard with all of the Kalahari and the different types of microfiber and different things inside there. So, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you drop a ZL
Most definitely
engine into it, and it's crazy.
Yeah. 4th gens, man, they're rattle traps. Like, they're nothing but cheap plastic. That's all they are.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm waiting on, you know, I'm a silent Dodge fan. And I'm waiting for them to finally do something with the Hellcat as far as putting some nice stuff on the inside, the leather. It's just you get in those things and everything just feels like it's plastic.
Right.
I kind of wish with the Hellcats and the Challengers, I wish they'd like do a different look to it. Because they've had the same kind of body style since what, 2008?
Well, it's the old Mercedes chassis.
Mm-hmm. They're limited what they can do with it. Yeah.
I mean, they need to bring up, like, the Hellcat shouldn't have been a Challenger, you know, or a Charger. They should have brought something completely different and blown the world away. You know, they could have brought back a different classic car.
Even with the Demon, they should have just made a whole nother car.
Yeah, you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well, we're in a horsepower war, and you know we haven't seen this since the mid '60s and '70s, and you got everybody just rushing to throw out 850 horsepower, and all that's going to do is get a bunch of people wrecked into walls and everything else.
Yeah, like that's something that one of my friends said is like when those Demons come out, there's going to be so many getting wrapped around trees, and
that's exactly what Rick Conti said.
that wasn't who I heard it from, but
he's a little biased though, isn't he?
Well, I think I'm a little biased because all I've ever owned is Chevrolets, you know, Pontiacs and Chryslers. You know, I mean, I used to be a Ford fan, but after I drove a few Fords back in the day, back in the 90s, like I told you before, and, you know, we're messaging back and forth, you know, either the transmission had problems or the differential would break, just little things, you know, and I don't know, Ford has just never been quality. Like, you know, it's never meant quality.
Well, they're found on the road daily. I mean, it's kind of
right. That's the old joke. Yeah.
I guess Tim lost connection out in the woods, I guess.
On the treehouse.
But, you know, although, you know, Ford has stepped up their game, I must say that, you know. because their cars are looking better.
Raptor.
But I just, yeah. Although Raptors have had issues with radiators, from what I've seen from people that I've known here in Albuquerque. You know, they have overheating problems.
In the
Did
new
we
ones?
just lose everybody?
No, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I like the V6 that's in there.
Yeah,
You know, the EcoBoost.
Yeah, they're all about EcoBoost.
Yeah, they're all
Even though
about
they're
that
not very
turbo thing. And,
eco. Like if you look at the Ford
yeah,
GT,
no, it's not.
how eco is that shit? It has less gas mileage than a Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I meant
Which is
I drive
terrible.
a Z06, 650 horsepower or a little more than that, and the thing can get 28 on the highway. So, you know, it's, yeah, you're right. There's nothing eco about that car.
Well, even my 6.0 GTO, you know, I've taken it on trips before I, you know, modified it, and it was really good on gas. Now it's absolutely shit with gas because obviously it has a huge cam, headwork, and, you know, everything has been modified. So, of course, it compromises the gas mileage.
Yeah, true, true.
But, you know, you don't look good going slow.
Yeah, true.
Kind of, you know, bad looking cars, you know, a lot of people don't, you know, dislike the GTO. You know, I don't know why, but it's a good looking car. I'm not saying that it's a real sporty looking car or very aggressive looking car, but it's a very sleek vehicle. You know, as a matter of fact, when they brought it out, they were trying to put it towards the BMW market, you know, trying to compete it. I don't know if you remember the commercials or the very few commercials they ever showed.
No, I don't remember. I don't know about the other
Yeah.
guys, but. So anybody else have any other cars they thought were ugly till they saw them in person? Or should we go to the mid-engine Corvette topic?
What do you think, Chuck? Mid-engine topic?
Well, I think mid-engine is going to have its place in the market. I think more for overseas. I think I don't know. I don't think it's going to do well with the American. You know, there's going to be some people that will be into it, but I think most of your American buyers are still going to be. I mean, you got to stop and think. Since 1953, we've been buying a front, you know, a car with an engine in the front, and so that's just, you know, how we are. That doesn't mean that we all, you know, might not get in one and get excited about it like anything else. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't think I would ever buy one.
I think you're right. It's more of a sentimental thing with Americans. Would you agree
Honestly,
with that, Chuck?
Yes, I would. I think that they're trying to get into that same, you know, on the track. Their Z06, their ZR1s, you know, they don't come in. I mean, they don't come in second very often. I mean, now there are some cars out there that are track cars, but you know, I think where they're wanting to go is overseas. You know, in the U.S., the only car we manufacture that if you take overseas, people respect it is the Corvette.
Right.
And I think what they're wanting to do is up their game in Germany and, you know, and over there with something that, hey, this competes with the Ferraris and the, you know, the Lamborghinis and different things like that. But I just think here in the States, I think if they price that car at $150,000, you're not going to get much buy here. I mean, you can't even get people to spend $108,000 for a Z06. Little long.
Look what happened to the Viper.
Yeah, exactly. The Viper. Yeah.
One
And
thing
what
I'm
the-
thinking is like, I know we've seen like, you know, the spy shots of the mid-engine car from Chevy, right?
Yeah, you got to be careful with
But-
those, because a lot of times those renditions you see there's, you know, they put that out there because they know everybody's taking a picture. And
Right.
Yeah,
the C7,
like that's why they're all camoed up.
yeah,
But one thing I'm thinking is it actually going to be called a Corvette? Has there been any, you know, information that states it's going to be a Corvette?
Oh yeah, they're absolutely going to use it as a Corvette. I mean, this is a groundbreaking thing to appeal to a whole new crowd level. I think they're totally going to use the Corvette name, and I think the older crowd is going to absolutely reject it. But I think they're building this to appeal to the new generation of people that, you know, want to Google the McLarens and the Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but they don't want that $150,000 to $180,000 price tag. So hey, we can give you the next best option of the.
Don't forget that's a used price tag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Those
I
things,
know
I
one
think-
thing is I'm kind of for the mid-engine Corvette because like if we're gonna compete, like one thing I'm hoping is like they make the C8 mid-engined, and then they also make like some sort of front-engined one for the next generation also.
Oh well,
But that's
you're gonna
probably
see this.
pushing it.
Yeah, the C7 is going to run every bit of 12 to 15 years. It just came. This has been such a huge. It's helped bring Corvette almost out of the grave. Their sales were falling bad.
Oh yeah, that's what Rick was saying to me when I spoke to him last time. The one thing I was gonna say is that people need to remember that Corvette is a sports car, not a hypercar. And that's the beauty of
Right.
Corvette. That at the price point where you're at, you're getting up hypercars' noses. I mean, you're
Yeah,
not beating
'cause,
them,
like-
but you're definitely putting pressure on a driver. So it's all about the driver. So if you're a good driver and you're in a Corvette ZR1, right, like the previous generation, or a Z06, and there's somebody in a hypercar in front of you, they're trying to stay on top, right? It's trying to stay number one, and that pressure gets to that person, depending how good they are, if they're Randy Popes or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the street, a Corvette handles really well. So people need to understand that a hypercar is completely different from a supercar.
Or
Oh, yeah.
exotic.
Yeah.
You know? Would you agree, Chuck?
Yeah, I think that the mid-engine would be, not only to fulfill the envision that, Zorro had back in the day of wanting to have a mid-engine car, and basically everybody in GM said no. I think having that out there to compete with the exotics is something that Chevy's always wanted to do. I mean, you guys time to think they're out here racing these guys on a weekly basis, on the tracks, and they want to be able to give their customers something as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they should name this vehicle something different. It should be GM's hypercar. It shouldn't be named the Corvette. They should come up with some new name, and come up with a whole nother mystique for the younger crowd that's going to be 30 years old in the next 10 years, 20 years.
Well, when it drops, it's going to be better than what we can envision it now.
Oh yeah,
GM
absolutely.
has done
I
an
have no
amazing job.
doubt.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if they'll use the word Corvette in it. I don't know. There's people that make a lot of money that are making that decision. But like you said, if they want to take that next step and start creating some type of supercar and start creating different classes within that, then maybe they come out with another name.
Right.
Yeah, my friend Zach in the comments said, I hope they bring back their nameplate for it.
Say what?
So, are we done on that topic, or?
I missed what you were saying. You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said my friend Zach in the comments said, I hope they bring back the Corvair nameplate for it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, remember how you were talking about the Hellcat? Why not use the Barracuda name and change the body of the vehicle?
That would have actually been a good idea.
That would have been
Dodge.
a bitchin' car. Yeah. Have you seen them before, Chuck?
I have not seen. Yeah, I have not seen the renditions of those. But you're right.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
there was a
I've
company.
seen like renders of like a so-called Barracuda or whatever. I wasn't a very big fan of the rendering though. But
Well, remember, rendering is different versus seeing it in person. Like
True.
like the Corvette. I mean,
yeah,
like for instance, they were changing Challengers to look like the Super Bs. There's a company just like the Trans Am Depot that makes GTOs and Trans Ams. So they basically
Yeah.
grab a donor vehicle that's brand new, obviously. They completely dismantle it, right? Chop it, if you will, and put a whole new skin, a whole new interior. And they change it into like a Super B look-alike, with the big wing and the whole 9 yards, like from
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, they do a Daytona.
Right, exactly. Daytona too, the Super B.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
But-
I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting seeing what they're doing on it. I know it's about a year and a half. FCA actually finally claimed all copyrights to the patent name CUDA. So everyone's waiting to see if they're going to do something with it because they finally
Right.
bought. I think that's I think that's a really big thing everyone's hoping for, because what Dodge has said before is if they do bring it back, they're going to release it as a shorter, smaller body style to compare it to the Mustang and Camaro and make it a true pony car. Because the Hellcat, any of the Challengers, it's not one of the pony cars. It's a muscle car. I mean, it's
Right.
never been the point of being a, small car. I mean, that's what I love about my Hellcat is, I can have my wife, my son in the car and go get groceries, and I can go do a road trip with this thing, and everyone has room. Well, if you try doing that in a Mustang or a Camaro, and you're stuck in that back seat, like even my 4th gen Trans Am, it's like sitting inside a small little cardboard box. I mean, there's no space. They're uncomfortable.
Right.
No tailgate. Or they have zero luggage.
Vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was at the dealership not too long ago, I was sitting in a white ZL1, and there's really no space back there. I can see what Guitar Getting was talking about when Troy was sitting in the back. He's like, there was no space back there.
Right.
I put the seat at the position where I would be driving, and I'd have to cut my knees off.
Right.
Just sit in that thing. There's no way.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, they're just, that's what cracks me up when people are like, oh, well, put the Vet to the. Those are two completely different cars. I mean, it's like trying to say the Ford T versus the Corvette. They're not the same. I mean, they never have been. I mean, that's a car to a muscle car or whatever you want to call it, and
right.
It's just a whole nother realm of things, and cracks me up when people always want to use that comparison. Like, I put a deposit in on a Dodge Demon, and first off, when they asked me, the seat options was, right now I want the passenger seat, I want the rear seat. I mean, one of my favorite things to do with my family is, we go cruising, we go do whatever. So it just,
I wish they would have made that, brought it out in the Charger format too.
That would
there you go. What would be cool? The Magnum.
Yeah, the Magnum's cool.
That was a cool car, man.
Oh yeah.
That was a real cool car.
Fun one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the Magnum. And
But
the one thing that
topic,
car. Yeah. Well, the one thing I was going to say about all these vehicles, I think that the manufacturers need to try not to price themselves out, because I think car prices are out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple comments in the comments section. 802 Garage says, it's like a whole lot of the old two-door coupes in the 90s. When you adjust the driver's seat back, the back of it literally touches the rear seat.
Right.
Yeah.
And like one thing I'm thinking is like the Camaros and the Mustangs, how even the new ones. I think the only reason they have back seats is for cheaper insurance, basically.
Yeah. It's like the
I
Jaguars.
think that's about it.
Well, I mean, even the seats, I mean, that doesn't come into barely effect when it comes to insurance. I mean, that comes down to pretty much doors. I mean, they don't give a shit about how many seats you have. They care more about, is it considered a sports car that we have to insure, or is it considered a sedan? I mean, that's what a lot of it will always come into play on is, those aspects.
Yeah.
And then obviously a motor. I mean, you try telling someone you have a 6.2 liter LT4 motor, or you have a 6.2 liter Hellcat motor, or whatever you want to say you have, company is just going to skyrocket that price at that point.
Yeah. Another thing 802 Garage said is,
but then on the seat,
a Magnum Hellcat would be epic.
All I know is I want to race one.
Yeah, that would be wicked. That's one of those cars that my girlfriend would be down for, because she likes the Magnum. Yeah.
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 Like, I got a lime green car that I will line up with a new Vet.
That is a rare car, though, the Magnum, especially the SRT.
Yeah.
And that's a good-looking vehicle. I mean, it's aggressive.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he has a black SRT8 Magnum, and it's nasty. It's cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring up a subject.
You what?
I said I wanted to bring up a subject that's very important to any car enthusiast or anybody that buys a brand new car, is that anytime that you take your vehicle to service, is make sure that they document the problem and the solution that they came across to fix the problem. Because if you ever run into a vehicle that has issues over and over and over, with the same exact thing, you might not get a settlement because it was not documented properly.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And I'm gonna make a video with Car Guy 11, and or maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna make a video about it and talking about this particular problem, and you know, and make sure that, you know, car manufacturers take responsibility for a defect, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's always good if they take responsibility for it.
Right, because a lot of these manufacturers, whether it's GM, Ford, you know, Nissan, any of them, doesn't matter which one it is, you know, every single vehicle, I don't care who, you know, where it comes from, even from Mars, you know, is going to have one small issue, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
they mass produce them, you know. You can't have a perfect vehicle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chuck?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's whether it's like with the new C7s where they had issues with, you know, with the seat going too far back and tripping the sensor, and then nothing works. So yeah,
Right.
there are things that you know, if it's an issue, then they need to step up and just take care of it, and not just keep, you know, hoping people, you know, just kind of live with that problem.
Right. Like one of the other issues that it's had is the screen would black out. Did you ever run into that problem?
I've never had that problem with mine. The only problems I ever had was just the airbag, which everybody's had, and then and
Right.
just with the seat sensor.
Right. Yeah, because my girl's Stingray, the screen was replaced 3 times.
Was it a software issue, or was it just the actual screen itself?
Well, first they thought it was a software issue, and then they realized that the first manufactured parts, they had thin wires, and when the screen goes up and down, it damages those wires. So it started rolling like a Rolodex, like the old computers. Remember those?
Mhm.
Like an old TV, you would have the little tuner
Yeah.
until you make it stop. So that's what it would do. It would crimp a wire and cause a short.
So was she opening and shutting that quite often?
Well, I mean, we had an iPod in there, and we would just stick gum in there, leave gum inside the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, occasionally we would open it. It's not like it happened every 2 seconds, you know.
Okay.
Just normal use. They finally figured it out, you know. It's kind of like what happened with the Hellcat. They had bearings that were messed up on the supercharger on the first generations.
Yeah.
It's a common problem, you know. As a matter of fact, there was I don't remember the guy's name, but Chrysler did not want to fix his car because he had put a cold air intake. I think RP Productions was talking about it.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think
you know, again,
he might have. I don't remember.
So again, you have to make sure and document the problem. Number one, make sure that they document what they did to fix it and if it solved it. You know, it might be a pain in the neck to try and get them to write down all that information, but in the long run, it'll save you thousands of dollars if you have a defective car, because it could be a lemon.
Well, I think what you also run into when you're talking about Hellcat, you're talking about, you know, Corvettes. So many people, these are just every now and then cars versus, you know, there are the people who find these issues are usually daily drivers.
Right.
And so there's so many of them out there that maybe had the same problem as hers, but it may not creep up until 4 or 5 years down the road.
Right.
And by then it's out of warranty and so forth.
Right. You get stuck with it.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I think that's the reason we found out some of the problems that we've had with hers, since, you know, we drive to Texas all the time. So it's her daily. She drives.
I think we lost him.
She's had here 3 years and 24. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, okay. I think I lost connection. I'm on my cell phone. You know, it's, you know, T-Mobile. What can I say?
You said enough right there.
Barely. I think it's just
Yeah.
my phone fucking up.
I should be getting a better connection. And I have Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It'll automatically connect. But you know, like I was saying, she already put 24,000 miles on her car. So
Yeah, most Corvettes won't see
You guys can-
24,000 miles in 5 years.
Right. Although her Corvette's it's a real clean one for the kind of miles that she has driven.
It definitely looks good.
I've seen some. Yeah, well, Chuck's featured some of the pictures with our dog in it. Chihuahua.
Hey,
Yeah, she's the
famous.
Yeah, it's she. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
See you later, Dallas.
what other subject you guys want to talk about?
So another thing, like how we brought up the new ZR1 that's supposed to be coming. What do you guys think Chevy's actually going to do with that? Because I don't think they've released like what they've done to the ZR1 that's supposed to be coming out. I
Right.
don't think they have.
As in, will it be a V6 or a V8? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, very funny. I think it's going to be a V8.
It's got to be a V8. It can't be like the Ford GT.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the LT5, and I think that car. I think that car is going to come with a couple of different wing packages that people can choose from, and I'm also thinking they're going to be. I think the smaller wing is going to be automated. I think it's going to be something that the computer will control, kind of like the Alfa Romeo, where the front splitter
Rick
comes up.
Was showing stuff that Rick was showing, Rick Conti. It's going to have active aero.
What was it?
You didn't see the drawing?
What video was it? Because if it's the last 2 or 3 days, I haven't kept up on them because I've been busy.
Shoot, it's been. Which was it? I don't remember. Because he was just at the fest over there at the Corvette Museum.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't
watched
seen
these
the
Corvette
videos.
Museum videos, but I don't remember them. I watched so many damn people and so many videos, I can't remember everything. Levi the Foxy says it's going to be an LT5 is what he says.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard rumors of an LT5, but I don't know whether that's supposed to be for, like, the mid-engine Corvette when they do that, like, bring a whole new motor in. Or whether the ZR1 is just going to have, like, an amped-up LT5. Or 4. Fuck.
Yeah, I think it's the LT5. I think is what they're going to be, because the patents that they've passed, that they've applied for, is to do that engine.
So you think it's going to be in the ZR1 or the mid-engine Corvette or both?
The ZR1.
ZR1? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, I don't know if you guys saw that video Street Speed 717 did with the VP of design at GM.
Yeah.
He said that we're supposed to be getting it a lot sooner than we think.
Well, I think with
the head engineer, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
like,
it rolls out.
Like, out of your guys' thoughts, when do you think we're going to see the ZR1 released?
I think it's the end of this year. I think once the plant comes back up online, at the end of October, I think that's when you're going to see. That's when they'll release it.
Yeah, I heard the Corvette plant's actually supposed to be closing for tours for a year and a half.
For 3 months, it's going to close.
Well, the tours are going to be gone for 18 months as far as the tours, but the plant itself will only be shut down for 3 months.
Oh, I didn't know it was actually supposed to be shut down to working.
Yeah, it's shut down, the whole thing. They're not going to make a car.
Watch. Let me go get my iPad and then.
Yeah, like when Rob Ferretti was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, he said he thinks they're shutting the plant down because, like, he said, like, the Corvette sales have been down, so he thinks they're just waiting for them to run out of Corvettes to sell or something like that because they have so many that they haven't sold or something.
I don't know. I mean, you've got, I know our local dealership here who they usually carry about 20 in stock. 1 week you can check their inventory, they've got 8. So they're selling here. So I don't know about everywhere else.
Yeah, it might just be where Rob's at, which I think is Jersey/New York or something like that.
Well, yeah, you can't do any modifications to them up there without going to jail.
Yeah. Isn't that a lot of places though?
Oklahoma, you can do whatever you want. Okay,
we got a comment in the thing. I don't know whether you guys will be happy about it, but William Gannon says, not trying to offend you guys, but do you not think these Mustangs and Chevys, etc., are so underpowered compared to the Skylines and Supras? Underpowered?
Well,
Since when?
I think what you have to understand is GM, Ford, Dodge, they make these cars, but they have so much more potential that's in them. That's why they're all modified after people buy them. So it's not like they're creating something you really can't do much with. I mean, you can take a Z06 and make it 1,000 horsepower if you want. I mean, it's just you can't put that type of car in the average Joe's hand and allow him to put his foot down and, you know, him wreck all over the place. So that, and, you know, in the U.S., we have a lot of guidelines on EPA, everything else that kind of ties their hands on what they can produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, even with cats being 707 horsepower, you know, not everybody can handle that.
No.
No.
Because, like, one thing that they don't really teach you when you're getting your license is they teach you how to do, like, defensive driving. They don't teach you offensive driving, which technically makes you a better driver if you know how to do that.
Well, that's why the Europeans have the Autobahn and they drive 130, 40 miles an hour, you know, like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it's not a big deal, you know?
Yeah, like, they need to do more, like, training for new drivers, or hell, even old ones. Like, I
Well-
consider myself to be a decent driver. Like, I have really good reaction times and shit. Like, the one time a Silverado freaking... Well, let's say this. If I wouldn't have hit the brakes when I did, he would have hit the right front fender in the car and put us in the ditch.
Yeah.
That's how close it was.
Right.
And then one time I went around a U-turn, and the rear tires literally slid out. And this was on a front-wheel drive car, believe it or not. Their tires spun out. And it was a drift. So it was either A, concrete wall, or B, drift perfectly.
Right.
And I drifted it perfectly somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a race car driver, but I'm a decent driver.
Neither would I, but...
You know, I mean, I've done things like last year we drove to Denver in an Infiniti G37 during a snowstorm, you know, and my girlfriend was like grabbing onto the handle and she's like freaking out, and I'm like, it's okay, we just gotta take our time, you know. It's all about, you know, when it's all about knowing when you should accelerate and not accelerate, you know, when to use the brake and when not to use the brake, you know. In the snow, you don't use your brake because you're gonna skid out of control, you know.
Fuck's sake.
So we've lost a bunch of people here, huh?
Gosh, there was supposed to be a shit ton of people that said they were going to join, but I guess not. See, that's the thing. Like, the reason why I don't title these, like, at first, featuring who all said they're supposed to join.
Yeah.
Because I never know till they fucking show up.
Right. Did you
That's
send
why the links to everybody's channel isn't in the description till after, you know, after we're done, because I don't know if they're going to fucking show up or not.
Right.
And, like, some of them are like maybes. I sent him the link on Facebook.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah, because
I sent a bunch of people the link. I sent like 15 people the link because I knew some of them wouldn't join. So it's better to, you know, since this thing only fits 10, it's better to, you know, have several people. Because I had like a list of like 10 people that were supposed to join and they didn't. So that's the problem with doing this. Sometimes people never show up, which is retarded.
And then Josh told me that he was going to join. I don't know if it was with you tomorrow, but he's doing something tomorrow.
Who?
I don't know. Josh?
Josh who?
From Wisconsin with the other GTO?
Oh, Josh's Car Corner?
Josh's Car Corner.
Yeah, he's supposed to do a live stream with me tomorrow, and I'm doing like an interview thing that I'm starting to do. Like, do a live stream with just like one other YouTuber and do like an interview type format thing.
Right.
And he's supposed to do that tomorrow because, you know, the day for the live stream got set before he replied back to me about what day. And he said Thursday. And then my friend Aaron suggested, you know, doing like an interview type thing just for something different.
Right.
So I was like, oh, what the hell? So I asked Josh if he wanted to do that Thursday, and he said yes. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to the GTO.
Yeah, like he's been on the podcast once before.
Right, I saw him
so far.
So as a matter of fact, I'm the one that suggested him to you. And
yeah. You
yeah,
suggested a lot of fucking people to me,
well,
including
yeah,
you,
because
Corvette918.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like, I didn't even know about your channel before he told me, so I was like,
yeah,
oh,
great
well, he
channel. You
seems pretty
kidding me?
cool. So.
As a matter of fact, he has one of the cleanest black Corvettes that could possibly exist.
Okay, so William Gannon asks, what do you think of these BMWs with LS1 swaps?
They're doing something right, finally, for once.
Yeah.
Now, BMW is a great driving car, but the maintenance on those things is horrendous.
Yeah.
It's super expensive. Any little part or piece for it, regardless of which one it is, whether it's an M series or not, it's super expensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And probably, like, one thing, like, I know we were talking about BMWs, but newer cars in general, like, it's harder to do maintenance on newer cars in general because everything's fucking, you got plastic on top of everything, and it's all, you can't really work on it in your own garage. And I think companies do it on purpose because they don't want you fucking with it, because they want their money from you to come in and have it serviced through them.
Well, hell, my mother-in-law's, future mother-in-law, her Infiniti needed shocks. I take it into service all the time because it's cheaper to get the oil change done with them than it is if I do it, versus buying and taking my time to do it. It's a lot cheaper for them to do it because it's all synthetic. So whenever it was in there, they told me that the struts was leaking. So I ended up doing them here in the driveway. It was a pain in the neck, but I did it with hand tools, not a single electric tool.
Wow.
But I mean, but you have to be knowledgeable too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a common sense type situation. So if you're more of an electronic guy, then that's your forte. You're gonna computer, right? But if you're a mechanical inclined person like myself, that's what I do. I put the headers literally on the outside of the street. Whenever I had my car at my brother's house, I went up the curve on one side, put ramps on the other. It gave me just enough clearance. I dropped the engine low enough, that I could drop the headers in there. Took off the rack and pinion. Not took it off, but uncoupled it from the joint, from the steering and rack. And it was a pain in the neck. It was like a 3-day process. Because I had to go to work and then come back, go to work, come back. It is what it is. But
like, I'm still working on being, I guess you could say, mechanically inclined, because I know some things, but I don't know everything. I'm like trying to learn as much as I can. Like, ever since I started YouTube and been watching these automotive YouTube channels, I've learned much more.
Right.
and see, before.
My point is basically that BMWs have so much more plastic. Infinitis have so much more plastic. Covers for this, covers for that. They're ridiculous. And for some reason, GM vehicles and Ford vehicles, they're a little more simplistic.
Yeah. Rising
down to
Tards,
basics.
I think Taters, not Tards, my bad. He spells it weird, so I said it wrong. My bad. Sorry I butchered your name. He says, what we talking about? Shit ton of stuff.
Well, working on cars.
Yeah.
Working on cars. What's easier to work on, an American car or a foreign car? It's always going to be an American car is so much simpler to work on. Even with my Pontiac, it's not really an American car. It has an American powertrain that was built, I believe it's somewhere in Chicago or New York. I'm not so sure. That's where they built all the NELS based engines, and then they ship them to the factory where they assemble them. But everything else in the car is completely Australian. So it's a little different. But whenever I get to work on anything else, it's so simple. Like my Chrysler PT Cruiser, so simple.
Yeah, like I think older cars in general are just easier to work on.
Right.
Rising Tater says, I'm working on America car. And what car might that be? Even though I think that's a Mustang in his profile picture.
I don't know if
I can't tell.
Yeah, see, I'm about to switch this thing here. Can I switch cameras? No, I guess not.
What do you mean?
Okay. I was trying to switch from the forward-facing camera to the rear-facing camera.
Yeah, you can switch from forward to back or whatever. It should let you.
Let's see here. Oh, that's to turn off the camera. I see. I got you. So yeah. So Here's the what I found, or the schematics that Rick had sent me for all the aero for the new car.
Wait, the new car is in the ZR1?
Well, you know what? I'm not even sure, but that sure doesn't look like a mid-engine to me.
Oh wait, ZR1 or mid-engine? Which one are you talking about?
I think that's going to be the ZR1. To be honest, what do you think, there, Chuck?
Yeah, because that's you can tell by the
inside
wheels.
axis.
It's got all the suspension components. It's got a lot of specific stuff. As a matter of fact, I sent all this to Mike Street Speed, and he never. I mean, I don't know. He never really. I mean, he kind of spoke about it, but he never really got into detail. I sent them all the schematics, and I think I sent them to you too, Chuck.
You did. That's where I first saw.
Yeah.
I think you can send those to me on Facebook after the stream, so I can see it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. You can read them. I mean, it's got a lot of specifics, but yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean,
back to the comments. William Gannon says, "What do you guys think of normal cars like Accords, Camrys, Jetta?" Okay, that looks like Subaru instead of Subaru. So I'm kind of confused whether he means Saab or Subaru. Legacy, Rovers, Mazda, etc.
Well, they're great. Those are family cars. They're daily driver cars.
Yeah.
You know, that's what those are.
I personally think that Hondas are reliable. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Like there's some cars that are known for their reliability, and some cars that are known for being not reliable.
Right.
Like, honestly, if I could get a cool car and I could only have that car, like if I couldn't afford to have a daily and a fun car.
Yeah.
If I had the option, I'd take the fun car and just drive it all day, even if my ass cheeks are numb by the time I'm done driving.
Right. Well, even the fun car could be comfortable because I would say, wouldn't you think your Corvette's comfortable, Chuck?
Oh, yeah. It's just as comfortable as my wife's Tahoe was when we had it. So, I mean, they've upped their game. Chevy upped their game.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I was gonna say that anytime that my girlfriend and I drive to Texas, which is like a 4-hour drive, it's supposed to take 5 hours, by the way. But you know, I stuff all our luggage in the car. I stuff my bag, I stuff her 2 bags and my future mother-in-law's bags, and then she flies over to Texas and we pick her up over there. You know.
So were you driving in the Stingray or the GTO?
Yeah, no, in the Stingray.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about Corvettes is like the trunk space with having the hatch.
Yeah.
You got so much fucking trunk space. Well, except like I don't know about the trunk space in like the convertibles because they don't have the hatch, obviously.
No, that's very minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
Small.
Yeah, like that's one thing I don't like about like the C5 Z06s. They don't have the hatch.
No.
At least I don't think they do.
No, they do. The Z06.
No, I don't think they do. I don't think the Z06 did.
As long as it's not a convertible.
No, I think like I wish Dallas was still in here because he owns a C5 Z06. He could tell us.
But
glass, I don't think they do.
Yeah, the glass opens up.
Huh.
It's not a full hatch. It's just the glass.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at a picture of one right now.
Yeah, it's just the glass that opens up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that tells you how much I know about C5.
It's not as big, but it does. I mean, if you ever look at Jimbo's channel, you can see that the glass.
This is a C4, Martin. Jimbo's is a C4.
Yeah, the C5. Yeah, you're right, but it still does open up.
Okay.
It's still, my girl had a yellow one.
Oh, it didn't look like it does, just because of the way the glass is shaped.
Yeah,
it's kind of bubbly looking.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, like that's one thing I don't like, because I think that was only on the C5 Z06 that it looked like a bubble, didn't it?
I'm looking at a picture of the Stingray. It looks like it's bubble on that one too.
Yeah, honestly, a Corvette generally looks about the same no matter how old it is. You know, like even the Stingray. If you sit in here in the driver's seat, so like I'm going to switch the camera here, and it really reminds you of the haunches right here of the old Stingray, you know. So it gives you that feeling that you're in the old classic one, you know, with the new modern touch, obviously.
Yeah. Like, that's one thing that I like about what Corvette's doing is, like, they've upped their game a lot with, like, the interior. Because as we know, everybody shit on the C6's interior massively.
It's got all the red interior, all the leather here.
Nice. Those are the regular seats, not the competition ones, correct?
Yeah, these are the GT seats.
Okay. Those are the same ones that Mike has in his, right?
Yeah.
It is, except his is just black. It's just black.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say? But I mean, his car is a really nice car. I honestly think that if it wasn't for the wrap, I think the doors would look kind of funny when they go up. The wrap complete the package.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. His car is
like,
amazing.
Honestly, not to shit on Mike, but I'm not a big fan of like the doors, like the Lambo doors on the Vet. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of it, but that's just me. Some people may like them, but
Well, that was for views.
Yeah, true.
yeah.
I think you know what Corvette should do, or Chevy should think about doing. I don't know if you agree with me there, Chuck. But have you ever seen a Vanquish, an Aston Martin Vanquish? How the doors just kind of slightly go upwards, just a little bit. As a matter of fact, Doug DeMuro was talking about it, and it's not very significant, but it's just enough that if there's a curve, it'll miss it.
I think in that aspect, yes. You know,
but I wouldn't do the Lamborghini doors. I
no.
think only a Lamborghini looks appropriate with those doors because the way they're designed, it just looks proper.
Yeah, like with a Lamborghini, I think all Lamborghinis should have, those doors because that's just a Lamborghini trademark thing.
Well, it's only on the V12s. Anything that's a V10 does not have the Lambo doors.
Yeah, like the Huracan and stuff like that.
Well,
right.
The Corvette, I think, again, I'm not a fan of any of the doors kind of swinging out, but I think the McLaren type doors would fit better on a Corvette.
They would.
Up.
Although that would be hard to do because you would need the pillar because there's no window frame on top.
Correct.
So that would look kind of, I don't know, it just wouldn't work out. I think the way Aston Martin does it with the Vanquish would be the proper way to do it.
Yeah, because I like how it like tilts, like it's a little upwards, like it's not like, but it's just like angled up a little bit. I like that cool effect, like when you open the door, it's slightly angled. I always like that about like the Aston Martins.
Right, and that's a
I like the DBS. That's actually my favorite. Aston Martin is a DBS.
Right, that's the one I think. Is that the one that Doug DeMuro had, or was that the DB9?
I'm not sure. Salamandrin used to have a DBS, I believe.
Yeah, because Doug DeMuro had one before he got his Viper.
I haven't been watching him that long, so.
Oh, I've been watching him forever.
I've just heard Salamandrin bring up that he's had DBS, but I didn't know about Doug DeMuro. I mean, he's like, he reviews so many cars, and he talks more about, like, he does more reviews of cars than he does of his own cars. So
Well, he drove his Aston Martin on a frozen lake.
I'm gonna have to look that video up.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. As a matter of fact, there was a tire manufacturer that sent him studded tires for that specific video.
Oh,
because he was
our guy 11's in the comments right now, and he asks a good question. He says, "Hey guys, will mid-engine C8 have Lambo doors?"
If it's not called the Corvette, maybe. And if it's designed that way. But
hey Marco, you should get your butt in here. I
sent
you the link on Facebook.
I told you, I gave you the heads up.
Yeah. You should join, Marco.
Might as well. I feel like everyone else ditched us because we were talking about a lot of GM product.
Yeah, we've been talking about a lot of like Corvettes and stuff like that, which is kind of, suiting for who we have in here.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting in a Corvette, so I mean.
True.
I mean, got the flags back there.
His next comment says, those type of doors. I don't know what he means by that.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. Marco, just get your ass in here.
The one thing I think that Corvette should do is just make everything standard with the carbon fiber.
Absolutely. I think
all of this.
Yeah.
All of this that's down here.
Yeah.
And even this here around the door, that should be carbon fiber. Everything else is fine, you know. But just these little
Yeah.
touches, you know, just
What
make it
package
standard.
does she have?
T.
Okay.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
have
so
the
it's-
Z51 on the Stingray at all?
No, this is not a Z51. It does have a lot of upgrades like the nav, 2LT. It's got the transparent top. Actually,
Okay.
I'm putting it on my face here, but yeah, the transparent top.
Is
It's
the
got-
transparent top the target top as well, or is it fixed?
They're all target tops.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure like with the transparent tops.
As
Like
a matter
that,
of fact,
that's one thing I like with the C7s is that
Uh-huh.
you can get like a Z06 with a target top. Like the C6s,
right,
there's no target top for the Z06, only the base model.
right, yeah, on the old Z06, either on the 6 or the 5.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I'm a big Z06 fan. Like I don't know why, I just love Z06s, even though I've never been in one yet. I've
'Cause they're
seen one in
powerful.
person so far. Not in the color I like. It was red.
Mhm.
I like a black Z06, but it'll do for now.
And see, this particular car has all the Jake stuff. It's not a fan, but it's got all the Jake.
Oh, nice. Like, what's that skull thing about again? Like, I've seen it on Rick Conti's channel, but I'm not too familiar with like what that's all about.
You want me to take this one, Chuck?
Yeah, go ahead, because it's on your car.
Right, car technically. But anyway, I just happen to ride in it sometimes. But anyway,
Yeah.
basically Jake it was an omission from The Punisher, the movie. And the Corvette team looked at or saw it when they did the C5, when they were doing Le Mans. So they decided to make their own rendition using the Corvette logo as the eyes and the nose. Just as you see there, it's a little bit different on the C5, but it was because they were going to get them. They were going to punish them. That was their thing. With the racing team. And as it's been evolving, this is what the Jake logo looks like now with the new C7.
Yeah.
So it's just basically their mascot, their racing mascot. That's all it is. As a matter of fact, back in 13, before the 14s came out, they had a few Jake editions that they made with everything carbon fiber. I don't know if you knew that, Chuck.
Yeah.
They had
my vet club with
a
one.
very limited selection, but they had convertibles and the regular target tops.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
Is your C7 your first Corvette, or have you had previous generation Corvettes?
First one I ever bought. I just said, went ahead and bought the Z06. No, I just skipped the Stingray and the Grand Sport.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I've
I
always
personally
wanted
like the
one.
Z06s.
Yeah. What's that?
That I personally like the Z06s better. Like I'm just, I guess you could say a Z06 fanboy. I guess like if it's a Z06, I like it.
Well, I think the new Grand Sport, the 2017 Grand Sport, what they did with that, I think it's great because it's in the same body as the Z06. But I think it's going to hurt the Z06 sales because I think a lot of people bought the Z06 because of the aggressive look of it. Now they can save $15,000, not buy a supercharger, and get the same car basically.
I agree.
Like one thing, like the only color I could really see the Grand Sport in is that red, white, and blue. Like I just like it in that color. I forget what the blue's called, but
yeah,
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
That's what. Yeah, I know. I've seen it. It's actually a color scheme that they used in Le Mans, as from what I can recall, what I was being told. As a matter of fact, the hash marks that go on the fenders are to identify the individual drivers.
Yes.
So no matter what color the car is, I mean, it could be a white car and it could have yellow hash marks. It could be a yellow car and it'll have brown or gray or just different color hash marks. It doesn't matter of the color of the vehicle. So basically, what they're doing is, for instance, the Heritage package. As a matter of fact, at a Grand Sport, the hash marks are right here on this pillar. Yeah. So you see, this is the old shit handle. So the hash marks are right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
plus the badging has it on there, I believe, as far as just saying that it's a Grand Sport.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it'll even have it in balls on the head here. So instead of having these flags, it's right here. Like they have this. I forget what it's the. I think it's a heritage edition, which is beautiful as heck. It's got the blue interior.
Yeah.
The light blue. I just don't like the
Well,
exterior color.
Yeah, that was the one that they had that was their anniversary. They only made 1,000 of them that had that turquoise looking blue inside or whatever they called it.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful bright blue. It's beautiful, but you can't have it any other way except blue and the gray color on the outside.
Yeah.
I think it's called. Is it shark gray?
Shark gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that color on the Grand Sport as well, with like the blue hashes on it.
Right.
I like how that one just looks.
Like one of the things that kills me, and I think that Chuck doesn't agree with me on this one because he was talking about it last YouTube stream that he had. But I like the chrome wheels. The chrome wheels look fantastic on the Corvette.
Black wheels matter, man.
Yeah, I agree with Chuck on this one.
Hold on. But it has to be the correct color. So like the chrome looks good on white. On black, it looks good on black.
Wheels.
Well, they do look good. Like for instance, Chuck's car looks great with the black wheels because it's black. There's certain combinations where black wheels just don't look right. Same thing with chrome. It's got to have the right combination.
I don't think black looks good with the blue and the brighter.
No, it does not.
Some of those darker colors.
They clash.
Yeah. But, it's kind of one of those things. I would, again, going back to just my experience with the guys in my club that have bought new ones within the last year, I would say it's now probably 70-30 black because everything's kind of moved towards the black thing. But, yeah, hey, I grew up as a kid loving the chrome. So I'm still –
right.
Yeah, so the chrome wheels, if you got chrome wheels, you got the carbon ceramics, you're never wiping dust off of them.
Like the one thing I like about the wheels on my car, it's got a black smoke wheel. It's not quite chrome, but it has a dark tint to it. So it looks good. I mean, I apologize. It is what it is, I guess. We've been having terrible weather here.
Hey, what do you... Instead of the black, do you like the matte black that they came out with this year?
It's nice. It's nice.
They did on the Grand Sports, but they're also going to be on the Z06s.
And, of course, the shape of the rim, too. Like the Z06 rims in chrome look good.
Yeah, they've added 2 more this year. So I'm kind of glad that they gave a little bit more option.
I know one thing. One of these podcasts, we got to get Conti on
Z51. Yeah, I can talk to him and see if I can convince him, and we can have Chuck talk to him too.
Yeah, I've never really gotten in contact with him yet because I haven't really figured out what the good way would be. So,
well, he's a cool guy. I mean, I've had reasons to talk to him. Like I told you before.
Yeah. Like how he sent you that signed, what was it, brochure for the Corvette or something?
Yeah, the 2017 brochure. I was looking for one. And he was doing giveaways, like basically drawings, and I happened to win a drawing for a poster. And so he was sending it to me, and magically he sent me 2 posters, and I told him, "Oh, that's awesome, man! Thank you very much." And I told him if he happened to run into to keep me in mind, but if he sends it to me, to make sure and autograph it is what I asked him to do that. And a couple of weeks later, it showed up at my doorstep, and I was pleasantly surprised. And as a matter of fact, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see the stuff that he sent me.
Yeah, I know you sent me the picture of the signed brochure thing on Facebook.
Yeah, it was a cool thing, man. Yeah, though apparently those things are rare. GM doesn't really give them out.
That's a shocker because you'd think brochure, they'd give them out.
Well, they want you to go to the internet,
True. But sometimes it's just nice to have that kind of stuff in like paper sometimes.
Right. like I still have a brochure for the 35th anniversary Camaro SS. I have that brochure in pristine condition.
Nice.
I have the one for the SRT8, the 2008, I believe it is. And I have one for the Challenger, the Pontiac Solstice, and then I have one for my Pontiac GTO, but that one's not exactly in pristine condition. I didn't, when I bought my car, it was just like a fluke thing. I didn't even know much about, you know, the Holdens. I didn't know that vehicle was going to be a rare car. Vice red and the 18-inch alloy wheels and the 6-speed manual with the silver gauges.
Yeah, like the only thing I really have that I guess you could say is, well, signed and from a YouTuber or whatever, is I'd won
Street Speed, right?
this contest to, fuck, there went the camera because these stupid notifications.
You dropped your phone. Is that a webcam or a phone?
I got a signed picture of Mike's Duramax.
Oh, right, the Dirty Max. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool truck.
Another thing is they actually put an extra photo in of the Dirty Max and Nick's Camaro that was signed by Mike. It didn't get signed by Nick yet, but whenever I meet him in person, hopefully he will do that.
Yeah. I think they're cool guys, but it's hard to get a hold of them.
Yeah, like Nick, I don't really have a problem with, you know, getting a hold of him. Like I can get a hold of him a hell of a lot easier.
Right.
Mike, I've never actually talked to him.
Yeah, no, I've never spoken to any of these guys in person or on the phone or anything like that, but
yeah,
we would message each other on Instagram, and then all of a sudden Mike quit answering when his channel really blew up after he got the Hellcat.
Yeah, it's probably because he gets so many messages that's hard to keep up
probably
with.
that's a contributing factor.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I started watching him when he first bought his yellow Corvette C7 that was automatic, and then it broke down twice because the transmission was having issues. It was
did he have a video about it breaking down?
He did. He did. Unless he took it down.
I looked through all his old videos and I only saw one of him picking up, I think, the automatic one, or maybe it was the manual one. I don't remember. But when I scrolled all the way to the bottom, and it said picking up his C7 Stingray.
Right.
I wasn't sure if it was the automatic or the manual because it didn't say.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it had an exposed top. Yeah.
About him having another manual. But I never saw any video or heard anything out of the videos about his automatic one having issues.
Yeah, in order to pick out the differences in the two C7s that he had, the first one that was the two C7s, the seats, one had the competition seats.
Yeah, the first video was of the automatic one with the competition seats that I watched, which is the first video. Like, I could tell you one thing. I never saw any of those old videos of Mike's.
Because it broke down twice. Because I remember he said it would only go into reverse.
Yeah. Well, that's a hell of a note.
Yeah, that sucks. But I remember that GM was giving him. Yeah, GM. As a matter of fact, he did a video on the customer service with GM. Yeah.
Hold up, guys. I'll be right back. I got to get the charger for the computer because it's about dead.
Yeah, that's fine.
Continue the conversations yourselves. Ouch.
As a matter of fact, like I was saying, he put it in reverse. That was the only way it worked. He was doing a video, and he went into some grocery store parking lot, from what I can recall. And then, as far as I know, he made a video about the customer service, which he was having a hard time with the lady on the phone.
Yeah, I don't actually like. Was that before?
It was in the video.
The manual.
That was before the manual. Yeah. And then the dealership where he got the manual, they helped him out.
When I was looking at his videos, I only saw one that had the automatic Stingray. I wonder if he put the other ones to private or something like that, because I didn't see him at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, guys, I've got to run. It was cool hanging out with you guys. This is a new experience for me. I've never been in this little, whatever they call this, a Google podcast type thing. Yeah,
Google Hangout, but I call it a podcast because it's technically what it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
But definitely do it again sometime.
All right. Yeah, I'm doing one Monday if you want to join that one. I don't know if you're available that day.
Yeah, but usually the only day that I have is either Wednesday, sometimes Tuesdays, but sometimes I'm I'm doing a car show or doing something with the Vet Club.
Yeah, the reason it's supposed to be Monday is because a bigger channel said that he wanted, so I asked him what days he'd be free next week, and he said Monday. So,
well, always
if
feel free to.
Willing to come, that's going to be the day.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, you can send me a link. Like you said, you send more than 10 people a link. And if I've got time, I'll try to. Do you normally do these at 9 o'clock your time?
Yeah, that's usually the set time now that I've been
Okay.
doing them. It just could be different days in the week.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
I'm definitely
you guys-
down again.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining there.
Not a problem.
Chuck.
You guys have a great week.
See you later,
Yep, you
Chuck.
too.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
like-
Well, since there's just two of us, is
Yeah.
there anything else you want to talk about, or should we just end the podcast here?
Well, you know, I don't
Because
know.
we've only
Just-
been like on this for like an hour and 12 minutes,
Yeah.
so that'd be one of the shortest ones. Except the first one I ever did, that was like 4
Yeah.
or 20 minutes. But because these usually on average run an hour and a half, but since barely anybody joined today, I think
Right.
that's why it kind of fell through a little bit.
I wonder what happened with the.
We're
They all
just going to
played
go ahead and end it
over
here.
the
Martin, you
pod.
can stay in the hangout if you want, and we can talk after
Yeah, that's
I end
fine.
it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, we can continue talking.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Hopefully the next one will be a little bit more, I guess you could say, entertaining.
Yeah.
Not like this wasn't a good live stream, because these guys are awesome, but I will definitely have their channels linked down in the description when you rewatch the video. And we'll see you guys on the Monday's podcast. And be sure to join
Deuces.
the live stream tomorrow of the interview I'm doing on Josh's Car Corner. I'll be doing more interview live streams with multiple YouTubers, hopefully like Rob Ferretti, you know, Autovlog, a bunch of the other awesome guys.
And hopefully you can get Spencer.
Yeah. If he'd ever email me.
Maybe after Spencer, we can get Parker on the show.
I
'Cause
actually
he did get him
messaged
into
Parker.
Jay Leno's. Yeah, because he did get him into Jay Leno.
I messaged Parker on Facebook, but he keeps fucking ignoring me. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Come
I
on,
know
Parker.
Nick said he wanted to join the podcast sometime, but it's just whenever
Yeah.
he's free.
Throw him a freaking bone, bro.
Yeah, I did the one night. I threw him the link, and he said that he was busy or he would have joined. So,
Well, I think he's in Gold Rush right now too. Parker.
Oh
he was
yeah,
meeting up on-
Parker
yeah, he
probably
was-
is.
Right. As a matter of fact, he was putting back the pipe underneath his car back because it was droning too much. And because
what,
it's not
the
an
Huracan.
no, his Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
What is it? A 5? I don't know. Whatever the hell Mercedes that he has. It's that
Yeah, I get
luxurious
confused
one.
with Mercedes because they're basically numbers. It just gets me confused.
Right. Unless it's an AMG, I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's the fast one.
like I know
and then of
Autovlog
course
is
the
getting a
Brabius.
C63 AMG, and I only remember it because
Right.
he's talked about it so many times. So
Right.
that's the only reason I remember what the fuck it is.
Well, the one Mercedes that I would always want is the SLR. That's an awesome
Oh
car,
yeah,
man.
the McLaren one.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
As a matter of fact,
yes.
Jay was talking about that he has a friend in, I think it's Las Vegas, and they pay him to, with him, to hit 200 miles an hour. And the only car that consistently 100 miles.
Yeah, I saw that on Parker's video.
Yes,
He was
he'll have
saying that one was the only one consistently go 200.
right. So no matter the conditions of the runway, that car can hit it no matter what.
Yeah, true. All
Because
right, well, we're
basically-
going to go ahead and end the podcast here.
Yeah,
I
go for
hope
it.
you guys enjoyed this one with not very many people. Hopefully Mondays we'll have a bunch more other people in here. I still have to ask everybody who's willing to join because, you know, this one wasn't done yet. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream, hopefully. And everybody have a nice day.